Hey guys, Myron here, and I wanted to talk about where Olimar was in Smash 4, my thoughts on his design and things like that, and where I think he's going to be going in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Any noticeable changes I saw, and things. My thoughts on how I think he'll be changed going forward. So in Smash 4, Olimar was kind of a he was a grappler slash zoner character. He had a lot of throw combos with down throw and do a plethora of follow ups. He even had some up throw combos at lower percents. And then he still had his traditional zoning tools that a lot of people knew and loved from Brawl. So he was in a good spot. He had a very fleshed out close quarter combat game compared to his previous iteration. I felt with his jab, his down tilt, even F tilt at times. Purple side B being a great option as well to kind of just get people off you and be able to fight them up close a lot better. And I think Smash 4 Olimar was the best iteration of him. There was a lot you could do with him. It was all very intentional and well designed as well. It flowed properly. It worked together to create a very cohesive style. And I hope they can maintain that going forward in Smash Bros. Ultimate. It was, you know, for the most part, from what we've seen, um, it's been very similar in a lot of ways, but there are some differences that I'm going to talk about, and my general thoughts on how I think they're going to change Olimar moving forward. Because I feel a little weird when I see Sakurai and his team develop Olimar. You know, they've given me both iterations of him so far, but there's always been some interesting errors going forward. You know, like Pikmin desyncing and things like that. So I'm always a little bit skeptical about if they can really get him to that perfect point. The first thing I want to talk about is in Smash Bros. Ultimate, don't expect Olimar's Pikmin to not clank. It's very what's like it's a balancing mechanism for his stuff to clank, right? So you have, for instance, your forward smash. It lingers a long time. It hits very hard. It's disjointed, and not only disjointed, it is an independent body. So at least in Smash 4, I assume it'll stay the same in Smash Bros. Ultimate. But what that means is that like when I forward smash, right? Instead of y me hitting you and then us both suffering hit lag universally and then you flying away, I do my animation. My Pikmin hits you. I suffer no hit lag, so I can actually act faster than you can when you're hit. Um, so it's like I just do the action and the Pikmin does all the heavy lifting in that regard, and then you fly away. So that's a pretty big thing, and it's very lagless, and it's decently fast. You know, it's frame 11 in Brawl, I think, or not Brawl, Smash 4. So by having that as a projectile priority, that allows it so like if you're fighting a Mario, he just neutral airs. You don't just get to spam forward smash and never lose, right? Because if that's the case, you would beat every aerial, you would beat most specials, and you would clank with most grounded moves, assuming you weren't above the damage threshold for them to clank. So it kind of has to be there. Think of it like a necessary evil, and that without that, Olimar is going to be absurdly busted, and then they're probably going to nerf him in other ways, right? So like if stuff doesn't clank, then you're going to be either weak or you're going to have a lot of lag, and I don't think that's good for the character. A lot of people like to complain about him, and that's fine. You know, he can be a frustrating character to fight, but his strengths and weaknesses very much complement each other. You know, his biggest weakness is that his disadvantaged state, and always has been this, is one of his worst areas. He's very susceptible to being punished while juggled, while recovering. Um, and that's kind of all right because he's so oppressive on the ground. You know, he's got a very strong neutral, great tools for that high damage output, great kill power, things like that. And his biggest weakness is being the disadvantage, and then mobility to an extent. He's actually very slow in pretty much every way, but it ends up balancing out because a lot of times you don't need to be gunning someone down. It's more so just frustrating when you're getting camped out, but that happens for some characters. Um, Moving forward in the Smash Bros. Ultimate, I do think they're going to keep his whistle armor in some capacity. I think they hit a sweet spot with it and how they did it in Smash 4. In Brawl, it was frames 2 through 14, and it was wave bounceable. So frames 2 through 14, you got super armor, mind you. That's not just the whistle animation. And I think the first active frame was 21 as it was in Smash 4. Well, in Smash 4, they toned that down heavily. It was frames 6 through 12 super armor, not wave bounceable. So you could not do anything with your momentum when you whistled. You just did it, and you got the armor. And the first active frame being 21 still. 2 through 14 was a little ridiculous. Being able to generate super armor on frame 2 that's almost as good as like a. It's actually better in my opinion than Ryu Focus Attack. Ryu Focus Attack is just frame 1, because the super armor doesn't break after one hit, right? I think they're gonna keep the 6 through 12 because they know that the whistle has armor and they give it for a reason. They've never acknowledged it in any of the games, like none of the tooltips or anything like that ever noticed or ever mentioned that Olimar's whistle has armor, but it's something they've actively altered throughout the game, the games. So I definitely expect them to see that. I think they're going to maintain a similar design philosophy to Olimar in Smash Bros. Ultimate as they did in Smash 4. He, like I was saying earlier, he's a kind of like a grappler zoning type character with more fleshed out close quarters options. I think they're going to maintain that moving forward. This game seems to focus a lot on speed, and that's going to play a big part on how he's fighting because keep in mind, like I said earlier, he was a slow character in a lot of ways. And now if everyone's moving fast, he's going to be able to kind of keep up with them better. He's going to be able to get his combos. I'm interested to see how they're going to affect his side B, and specifically with the lag amount, because if I recall, side B's first active frame is 25, and the pick and throw is on 9. So it's a relatively low lag move, so that's why you'll see a lot of Olimars in Smash 4. It'd be like purple side B into forward air and things like that and get combos, because it's not super committal. But in Smash Switch or in Smash Bros. Ultimate, if they maintain that, he could with the new speed increase, he could get a lot of forward momentum and get a lot of more aggressive gameplay out of that. If he's able to move fast and keep up with his opponent and keep them going. I think that would be a good change. I personally like to play Olimar in Smash. I like to play Olimar aggressive in Smash 4 a lot. I like to go fast. I like to press a lot of buttons and pressure my opponent. And if I can do that in Smash Bros. Ultimate, I'm gonna feel really good about it. So in the things we've noticed about Olimar and Smash Bros. Ultimate so far. There's not a ton, but there's some stuff that kind of backs up my point I mentioned earlier about them kind of maintaining that similar design philosophy with him moving forward. And that's what I want. Like I said, this is the most, in my opinion, the fleshed out, the best design of Olimar we've ever had with Smash 4. So I'm looking forward to seeing if they can one up it. And I do have a little bit of skepticism, but I think it's justified. So the first thing. He plucks 3 Pikmin at a time, just like normal. The 5 colors we've seen are confirmed. I don't remember exactly, but I think there was a scene of him plucking red, yellow, blue, so I could be wrong. But I imagine it would be in the same order. There's no reason for it not to be in a set order. At this point, it's just it's a good design choice. It's consistent. You know what you're getting, and I think that's important. And they seem to be trying to reduce the random element in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So you pluck 3 Pikmin, they seem to be in the set order. There's a clip with his down smash and his forward smash. They look very similar. They look just as fast and quick as always, and that's really good. I think those are pretty important for Olimar to have quick, fast zoning options. His Pikmin do still have projectile priority on smashes. So Link's shield, when he was stationary, blocked a forward smash, bounced off it. That was to be expected. Don't let that discourage you from playing the character. I know it can be frustrating, but he has a lot of workarounds. He requires a different playstyle to really push forward with him, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But the biggest change, he also still has his up B, the winged Pikmin, which I personally prefer. I think is a fantastic move. I would assume it'll work in the same capacity as Smash 4, maybe with the new addition that they gave Duck Hunt's up B, where you can apparently air dodge out of it. So you may be able to air dodge out of the wing Pikmin. If not, you are always able to cancel it with an aerial, and then auto cancel those for almost no lag. So hopefully that stays the same. But the big thing, and this is something that I'm a little worried about because I don't totally know how it works, and I'll explain why. On the website they had little videos for every character, and for Olimar they showed it, and in the video they show him grab. He has 3 purple Pikmin in his line, and he goes to grab, and all 3 purple Pikmin go around like Mario, and they all grab him together, right? And then I believe it was Olimar pummeling with his fist, and that's really different that actually there's a bunch of implications that come with doing this change, and things like that. And so first off, and this is speculation at this point because we don't exactly know how this throw works. We didn't see any damage values. We didn't see even the finishing up throw with what it looked like. We just saw him get grabbed in the start of an animation in a pummel. But the things that we need to keep in mind moving forward. How is this going to work with multiple Pikmin? Previously, Pikmin have damage. Pikmin have damage multipliers on their attacks. Reds have stronger smashes and aerials by 20%, but weaker grabs by 20%. But blues have stronger grabs by 60% damage and knockback wise. But white grabs have double the pummel damage, but neutral grab damage and knockback. So there's a lot of mixing and matching, right? So does that mean the grab has been kind of unified into a always the same amount of damage? Or how exactly would that work? Because if you're grabbing with 3 Pikmin, what priority would it give the color to, assuming they still have their attributes? I expect them to have at least some differentiating factor. They might have just normalized his pummel, and that's why he's doing it, because the pummel was 2% for every Pikmin color except white, which was 4% in Smash 4. They might have just made it a fist to kind of cut out that weird benefit, I guess, of having a white. But I am a little worried that they might have made his grab kind of just a standard grab in terms of damage knockback. I liked the management aspect of having the blue be your primary one, because it also set up the red down throw raw bear, things like that, follow-ups that was a staple of Olimar's toolkit. So I think that's also really important. You have a lot of variety when you have when the different colors can have different knockback and damage, because you can do things at higher percents with the lower knockback ones that you normally wouldn't be able to do, and you can do things at lower percents to get increased damage output to get a more optimal combo. And then you have this is something that kind of gets into the deeper level of playing Olimar, but it's like, if you have a blue Pikmin and they're at 140, their first thought is, okay, I need to avoid the grab. Alright, now they're playing around the grab, but then you could, bait them to jump because they don't want to get grabbed with the blue, and then up air them or back air them, right? So there's that extra layer to playing, to having this management aspect, and something your opponent has to deal with. So I really do still hope, even though they're grabbing with 3 Pikmin, that there's some way to give the different colors a distinct advantage for doing that thing. But another important thing is, so like I was saying earlier in Smash 4, when you grab with Olimar, the Pikmin grabs them, like Olimar can be right here, the Pikmin's here, and the Pikmin will pummel by himself. He doesn't, Olimar is not involved in the grab at all. He just points his finger out, the Pikmin goes, and the Pikmin does all the work. The Pikmin is intangible when you grab, so like if I grab and you throw out a forward, like a down smash, right? That Pikmin doesn't care, you're getting grabbed. You can't interact with the Pikmin, all you can do is either avoid getting grabbed or get grabbed. So I wonder if having the 3 Pikmin is going to change that, because apparently throws are techable in this game. So I'm not sure how that's going to interact with Olimar's his grab with the 3 Pikmin, because tether grabs seem a little weird to tech. But another important thing is, so in Smash 4, since Olimar's Pikmin ride along the ground, wherever he's at, you can actually grab people on the ledge / under the stage, or their models poking through. And sometimes when you do that, Olimar will be displaced an extra amount from his Pikmin, right? And normally that's not an issue in Smash 4, because you're still able to pummel, you're still able to throw. But does that mean that's not going to happen in Smash Bros. Ultimate? Because if that does, let's say you did that and then you had that distance between you, could you not pummel because Olimar's doing it with his fist? That's a little worrisome if his grab operates in a similar manner. What was that other last point I wanted to bring up? Oh, yes. So another thing that kind of feeds off what I mentioned just a minute ago was, in Smash 4, there are actually 3 different distances when you grab someone with Olimar. that the Pikmin and you will be at. So it's like, let's say this is like a standing grab, right? This is a standing grab. Olimar's here, Pikmin's here, and that's the distance I'll be at. And then let's say I dash grab, right? Now all of a sudden we're this close because I ran in with the Pikmin, right? And then let's say I pivot grabbed. Now we have this much distance, so there's extra distance compared to the standing grab. And that would actually affect follow-ups. Dash grabs were traditionally easier to get, down through where bear follow-ups at because you're closer to the opponent. There's less room for them to get away. But a pivot grab, a lot of times you can't follow up off pivot grab at a high percent with a move because they're so far away. Is that going to be the same as well? This is speculation at this point. If it's still using 3 Pikmin, I don't think it's going to do that. I actually can't see Olimar's grab being as safe as it was if they used 3 Pikmin. His pivot grab is, I think, the safest pivot grab in the game. It's very good compared to his dash grab and standing grab. It's very low lag in comparison, and it generates a ton of range. So it's a great option to catch people from coming in and kind of deter them from attacking you. If they do, with the 3 Pikmin, I feel like they're going to have to change that in some regard because if I pivot grab, right, and I turn around and does it, and then it sends 3 Pikmin out, that's a lot more to do than just one quick Pikmin, right? It also means you might not be able to do it as fast. 3 Pikmin might be on cooldown longer. So it's going to be very interesting to see how his grab has changed. But from what I've seen with Olimar, I'm still going to be looking out for footage from him in the coming days, weeks, months, whatever it is. I think he's going to be in a relatively similar spot to Smash 4. I don't want to say good because that's kind of too early to say if it's going to be good or bad. Olimar, in my opinion, is very good in Smash 4, but he's got an absurd learning curve, and he's very unforgiving even then. Like, you can be amazing with him, you can understand how to play with him, but you just get less room to mess up a lot of the times. You have to do additional work to just get the same result. You have to, do a desync smash just to beat someone's attack instead of just like beating their aerial with your move, things like that. So I think there will be a lot of similarities with him in the Smash 4. They're going to maintain the design philosophy they went with moving forward, and I think that's fantastic. He's very fun to play for me. He's very good. He has, like I said, a high skill ceiling, so it allows for a lot of growth. But I am a tad skeptical of the grab changes and how that's going to affect him and all that. But Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Olimar is looking, with the engine changes especially, directional air dodge is going to help. Generally faster gameplays, I think, helping slower characters kind of keep up a lot, and I think that's fantastic because that was one of his downsides a lot of the time, is that he was just a little bit too slow. So I think he's looking to be a pretty solid character in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Not broken, not bad or anything like that. It's too early. It's way too early to be able to tell about that just because we haven't seen any gameplay because he's not in the demo. But those are my thoughts on him. I'm still going to be trying him out the moment the game drops. I'm super interested in playing him, labbing him, figuring stuff out. The only way I could see myself dropping him is if they change him so much where he's not fun at all for me. But I mean, I liked Brawl Olimar. I love Smash 4 Olimar. So I don't see that happening from what I've seen so far. A lot of the footage shows that he's very consistent. At least in a lot of his moves, and that's good. So when the game drops, you can expect me to be on top of that, grinding him, really figuring out how good he is, and I'm gonna let you guys know about that as well, because I'm sure you'll be interested as well. But those are just some of my thoughts on him going from Smash 4 to Smash Bros. Ultimate. What you can expect, design change wise, how he was already kind of designed, and things to look out for. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.